Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. The story begins with a brutal war, a war so devastating that it claimed the lives of countless sword wielders. It was known as the Great War between the righteous and the demonic factions. No one could have imagined that this nightmare would drag on for 13 long years. It was an endless hell. A battlefield drenched in blood and tears, where every sunrise brought more death. And every scream echoed across the land as countless warriors met their end. Then, without warning, a sudden truce brought the endless bloodshed to a halt. 20 years have passed since the war finally ended. Yet the greatest mystery still remains unanswered. How was the truce achieved? To this very day, no one knows. The disciples of both the righteous and demonic factions have remained completely silent, as though bound by an unspoken agreement to never reveal the truth. Time continued to move forward. New powers rose throughout Jianghu. While once glorious clans slowly faded into obscurity, their strength shattered by the scars of war. Slash. Swish. Why? Just why can't I break through to the 7-star level? The story then introduces a beautiful thick swordswoman named Cherien Zhang, the second daughter of the prestigious righteous sword clan. Frustrated by her lack of progress, she clenches her sword tightly and mutters to herself, "I have to master the scarlet thread sword technique, no matter what it takes. Only then can I restore my clan to its former glory." The scarlet thread sword technique. A legendary sword art that has been passed down through generations within the righteous sword clan. A technique that symbolizes the pride, legacy, and honor of the entire family. Clack. Sigh. She lets out a deep breath and quietly murmurs to herself, "No matter how hard I train, I just don't see any improvement. Why can't I get any stronger?" Just then, a familiar voice calls out, "Cherien." She turns around and immediately smiles. "Oh. Hello, big sister. Brother-in-law." The story now introduces two important characters. The first is Baek Seo, Warian's husband. And the second is Warian Zhang, the eldest daughter of the prestigious righteous sword clan. Baek Seo looks at Cherien and asks, "What brings you to the training grounds today?" Before Cherien can answer, Warian speaks up. "The center of Palm clan sent a messenger. Young hero Zhang wants you to enter the Dragon and Phoenix tournament with him." The moment she hears those words, Cherien's eyes widen in disbelief. What? There are two of the largest and most prestigious martial arts tournaments in the Central Plains. The first is a deadly competition where warriors fight for the honor of their sects and for personal glory. The greatest martial arts tournament in the world. The Heavenly Dragon Tournament. The second is a mixed pairs competition created to showcase the next generation of martial artists. The Dragon and Phoenix Tournament. And this year, both tournaments are being held right here in Hubal. Cherien clenches her fists in frustration. Fighting in pairs is childish enough, but teaming up with that shameless pervert, Injial Zhang? No, absolutely not. She glares at her sister and shouts, "I'd rather die than get mixed up with that creep." Trying to ease the tension, Baek Seo quickly steps in. "Please, don't fight." Warian sighs before replying, "Will you calm down and just listen to me? You've always said you wanted to restore honor to our family's name. Winning the Dragon and Phoenix tournament could be the opportunity you've been waiting for. Besides, you really don't want to make an enemy of the center of Palm." But before she can finish, Cherien explodes in anger. "I already said I'm not doing it. If it's really that important, then why don't you just lie about your age and enter the tournament yourself?" Without waiting for a response, she storms away in frustration. Watching her leave, Warian lets out a helpless sigh. Baek Seo chuckles awkwardly before saying, "She really has a temper. Just like you, dear." The story then shifts to a lively marketplace. Merchants line the busy streets as customers crowd around colorful stalls. Fresh goods. Fresh goods here. Come take a look. 5 Dragon Well Tea. Special sale today. Amid the bustling crowd, 2 townspeople chat quietly. Did you hear? The head of the Merchant Alliance lost another finger. The other man smirks. Sounds like someone's finally giving him the punishment he deserves. Meanwhile, Cherian walks silently behind them. Her shoulders droop. Her footsteps are slow and heavy. As if the weight of the entire world is resting on them. She lowers her head and quietly mutters to herself. What if the center of Palm Clan starts harassing my family because of me? Her expression fills with worry as uncertainty begins to cloud her mind. I hate how influential families think they can get away with anything. Just then. Slam. A deafening crash echoes through the middle of the bustling marketplace. A furious man grabs another by the collar and roars. You filthy thief. That's not what we agreed to. The other man scoffs without the slightest hint of fear. What? You'd better take those words back, if you value your life. The 2 continue barking at each other, each trying to outshout the other. Meanwhile, the nearby crowd quietly begins backing away. Not because they were scared. Well, actually, yes, they were very scared. Nobody wanted to become today's collateral damage. In this world, deceit and betrayal run rampant. Not far away, a plump, suspicious-looking man is having a quiet conversation with the same troublemaker from earlier. The nervous man bows respectfully and says, If you could exert just a little of your influence, sir. The fat, corrupt-looking official flashes a smug grin. You have nothing to worry about. Just make sure you follow through with what we discussed. Nothing suspicious about that. Just your average completely not corrupt business meeting in broad daylight. And in today's Jianghu, scheming, bribery, and corruption have become the norm. As if things couldn't get any worse. A terrified voice suddenly pierces through the crowd. My purse. My purse is gone. Looks like someone's wallet just started its own martial arts journey. Before anyone can react, another argument erupts from the opposite side of the street. Take your hand off your sword, scoundrel. Do you even know who you're talking to? At this point, this marketplace has more drama than 100 martial arts clans combined. Seriously. People came here to buy vegetables. Instead, they're getting front row seats to Jianghu's Got Problems. And right on cue, our main character finally makes his entrance. He slowly walks through the crowded streets, taking in the endless chaos unfolding before his eyes. Then, with a completely bewildered expression, he quietly says, So, this is the Jianghu I've always dreamed of. Poor guy. He probably imagined legendary swordsmen, honorable heroes, and wise martial arts masters. Instead, he found angry merchants, corrupt officials, missing purses, and enough public arguments to last a lifetime. Talk about false advertising. Meanwhile, Cherian hears the shouting behind her. She slowly turns toward the commotion. Lets out a long, exhausted sigh. And mutters under her breath. Curse you. Leader of the Murim. Honestly. At this point, if she blamed him for the weather too, nobody would question it. And right in the middle of the cheering crowd, one random guy completely ignores the mood and starts crying his heart out. You foiled my lifelong dream of unifying the demonic sect. The Qianma has fallen. Buddy, read the room. Meanwhile, the cameraman dramatically shifts his focus toward the leader of Murim. And so, the 13-year-long war has finally come to an end. The crowd erupts into thunderous cheers. Long live the leader of Murim. People celebrate like the world's biggest festival has just started. But not everyone is buying the performance. Our beautiful Cherian watches the play with an unimpressed expression before letting out a sigh. Oh, come on. I get that it's just a play, but no one actually knows how the great righteous and demonic war truly ended. Suddenly, a calm voice speaks from behind her. My thoughts exactly. Cherian freezes before quickly turning around in surprise. Standing behind her is our MC. Looking way too cool for someone who just appeared out of nowhere. With a calm expression, he says. The Kianma's 9 Calamities demon art was said to be invincible. He couldn't have been defeated in a one-on-one battle. The cameraman slowly zooms in from the left like he's filming the final boss introduction. Our MC continues. And the Great War certainly didn't end in such a pathetic fashion. Cherian stares at him for a moment. Then thinks to herself. Okay, who is this weirdo? Meanwhile, our completely unfazed MC changes the topic so fast it should honestly be considered a martial art. I'm thirsty. Would you join me for a drink? Maybe you could show me a good tavern. It's my first time in Wuhan. Cherian's eyes narrow. So, he's a womanizer with an innocent baby face, huh? Without missing a beat, she replies. A martial artist should conduct himself with a little more dignity, don't you think? She turns around gracefully. Now, if you'll excuse me. I have business to attend to. As she begins walking away, our boy asks one unexpected question. Do you believe that Jianghu is still worth something? Her footsteps stop. She slowly turns back. Huh? What do you mean? Our MC's expression remains calm. It abandoned the principles of justice and loyalty long ago. What rules it now, is nothing more than appearances and empty prestige. Looking directly at his future waifu, he says. It's pathetic, don't you think? Cherian's expression hardens. Her hand slowly grips the hilt of her sword. Inside her head, she's already arguing with herself. Stay calm. Don't punch the handsome idiot. Taking a deep breath, she finally answers. And yet. You're still a part of it. Her voice is calm. Almost mocking. Then she turns away once again. As she walks off, she says. Jianghu may not be what it once was. But it hasn't fallen so far that people can slander it so casually. Oof. Our boy really chose philosophy as his opening line instead of introducing himself. Bold strategy. Our boy watches Cherian walk away. A faint smile appears on his face. Not the smile of someone who won an argument. More like someone who just found a person interesting enough to remember. Without another word. The two quietly continue down their own separate paths. For now. The scene then shifts to the bustling Wyong Inn. The moment we step inside. The place is absolute chaos. Plates clatter. Cups slam onto tables. Waiters weave through the crowd like they're practicing a high-level movement technique. The aroma of hot food fills the air. And somehow, despite all the noise, nobody misses a chance to gossip. At one crowded table, four martial artists are passionately debating the upcoming Dragon and Phoenix tournament. One of them confidently declares. This year's tournament is going to be something special. Another immediately fires back. Obviously. Young hero Lim of the Northern Heavenly family is taking the title. A third guy nearly spits out his drink. Not a chance. Don't tell me you've forgotten about young hero Yang of the Southern Mountain Alliance. Meanwhile, the argument continues to escalate. At this rate, the tournament might start right there over a bowl of noodles. Just then. Creak. The inn's door slowly opens. A graceful figure steps inside. It's our waifu. The entire entrance suddenly feels quieter. Well. Almost. Because one random NPC is staring at her so hard you'd think she personally owed him money. Brother. Your food is getting cold. Focus. Looking around the packed inn, Cherian quietly says. I've never seen this place so crowded. It must be because of the tournament. Just then, one of the waiters notices her. His eyes widen instantly. Young Lady Zhong of the Righteous Sword Clan. What brings someone like you here all alone? With her usual calm smile, she replies. Oh. I simply thought I'd stop by for a quick drink. The poor waiter suddenly begins sweating bullets. Oh, drat. I'm terribly sorry, young lady. The only available room we have at the moment is the VIP room. He quickly straightens himself before gesturing respectfully. But that's no problem. Please. This way. The waiter gives Cherian a respectful smile before saying. I'll be sure to give Wuhan's finest beauty a special discount. You know what? The waiter has some pretty solid observational skills. Back at one of the nearby tables. A random martial artist overhears the comment. Wuhan's finest beauty. Another guy immediately turns his head. No wonder I couldn't stop staring. Within seconds, whispers begin spreading across the inn. So that's her. She really is beautiful. I heard she's from the Righteous Sword Clan. Meanwhile, our waifu can practically feel everyone's eyes on her. Inside her head, she's already questioning humanity. Who in the world came up with that ridiculous nickname? I'd never come here alone for a drink. But today has already been strange enough. The waiter gently slides open the VIP room door. Please, madam. Take whichever seat you like. As she steps inside, she quietly thinks. I just needed to get away from the Palm clan. And especially that weird guy. Fate, however, had other plans. Sitting comfortably at the table, surrounded by enough food to feed a small sect, is none other than our MC. Without even looking surprised, he calmly greets her. So. We meet again. Cherian's eyes instantly turn into those classic manga eyes. You know. The universal expression for. Why is this man everywhere I go? Our MC flashes a dangerously charming smile. If you were coming here anyway. We could have just come together. Smooth. Questionable. But smooth. Cherian lets out an awkward little laugh. What a strange day I'm having. Meanwhile, the poor waiter is just standing there in complete confusion. He's trying to figure out whether these two know each other. Or if Destiny personally booked today's VIP room. The cameraman slowly zooms in on our MC. He's casually tearing apart a poor roasted chicken leg. Rest in peace, little warrior. That chicken survived the kitchen. Only to lose the final battle here. He takes a bite as if he's discussing tomorrow's weather. By the way. How do I register for the tournament? When's the deadline? And only now do we finally notice. His table is absolutely overflowing with food. Bowls. Plates. Meat. Soup. If there were one more dish, the table would probably unlock a hidden achievement. Cherian stares at the mountain of food. Inside her head, one question echoes louder than anything else. Is this his first meal of the day? She finally asks. Why? Are you planning on entering the tournament? Our MC doesn't hesitate for even a second. Of course I am. Our MC casually leans back in his chair before saying. I bet the tournament is going to be absolutely packed with beautiful women. He points at himself with complete confidence. You see. I'm pretty popular with the ladies. Confidence level. Somewhere between future legend and professional liar. Still happily munching away, he continues. I've been traveling ever since I was 10. And wherever I went, I just couldn't keep the women away from me. Another bite. Another outrageous claim. Meanwhile, our waifu can only stare at him. Unbelievable. Inside her head, she's already having second thoughts. I didn't take him for such a mindless chatterbox. She can't help but compare him to the mysterious man she met only a little while ago. It's like he's a completely different person. Just when she thinks she's figured him out, our boy casually drops another sentence while chewing his food. Then I realized who the most beautiful woman in all of Jianghu really is. Cherian blinks in confusion. Who? Without the slightest hesitation, he smiles. My mother. Cherian freezes. Your mother. Our MC suddenly narrows his eyes. What? Are you trying to say my mother's too old to be beautiful? He stares directly into her eyes. The accusation is so absurd that Cherian's brain completely short-circuits. And no. That's not what I meant. A faint blush creeps onto her face. Then she immediately starts arguing with herself. Wait. Why am I getting flustered? I didn't even do anything wrong. Congratulations. She somehow lost an argument she never started. Our MC simply shrugs. Anyway. I'm actually pretty nervous about what's coming. And whenever I get nervous, I get hungry. As if to prove his point, he immediately reaches for another bite. Honestly, at this point I'm starting to think the restaurant should charge him rent. Cherian asks. You mean the tournament? Our MC shakes his head without a hint of doubt. No. I already know I'm going to win that. He says it so casually. Like he's announcing tomorrow's weather. What I'm worried about is conquering Hubei. That's my goal for this year. Cherian's eyes widen. Conquering Hubei. Our MC nods while reaching for yet another bite. It's going to take a lot of work. There's a lot to keep an eye on. It's times like these that I really work up an appetite. That poor plate never stood a chance. Cherian looks at him as if she's trying to decide whether he's a genius or completely insane. You want to win the tournament and conquer Hubei? You seriously need a reality check. Clack. The VIP room door suddenly slides open. A voice echoes from the entrance. I thought I recognized that voice. A figure slowly steps into the room. So. It really was you. Young Lady Zhang. Cherian immediately turns toward the newcomer. Her eyes widen in shock. And just like that, the peaceful meal officially comes to an end. The cameraman slowly shifts toward one very familiar face. And judging by that smug smile, you already know he's about to ruin everyone's mood. This charming specimen is Injial Jiang, the heir of the Center Palm clan. He strolls into the VIP room with all the confidence in the world before saying, "What a pleasure it is to see you." Following behind him is a young woman wearing a gentle smile. She replies, "Here." "Sure, why not? Meet Inoue Jiang, Injial's younger sister." Thankfully, she seems to have inherited the looks. Let's just hope the personality skipped a generation too. Injial's gaze slowly drifts toward Cherian. Unfortunately, not toward her face. With that same disgusting grin, he says, "I trust you've been well, Cherian." Cherian immediately feels his eyes crawling all over her. Inside her head. Ugh. There he goes again. Scanning my body like he's reading a martial arts manual. Her hand instinctively tightens around her chopsticks. I'd love nothing more than to punch him in the face. But I have to stay calm. Some people cultivate inner peace. Others cultivate the incredible ability to tolerate Injial. Meanwhile, completely ignoring the awkward tension, our MC continues eating. One bite. Then another. It's almost impressive how little he cares. Ingial finally notices him. Ah. What do we have here? He watches our MC continue devouring his meal without even acknowledging his existence. That tiny crack. You can almost hear Ingial's ego breaking. I didn't realize we had company. Cherian quietly watches the scene unfold. She already has a bad feeling about where this is going. Without another word, Ingial reaches into his pocket. He pulls out a single gold coin. Then, clink. He casually tosses it onto the plate our MC is eating from. The sound echoes through the silent room. For the first time since this conversation began, our MC stops eating. Ingial smirks with complete satisfaction. That's for your meal. Then, wearing the kind of smile that makes you want to lock your wallet and your patience away, he continues. If you're finished, would you mind giving us some privacy? The room falls silent. Our MC slowly lifts his head. His eyes finally meet Ingial's. Yeah. He probably should have let the man finish his chicken. And that's where Chapter 1 comes to an end. If you enjoyed today's recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. I put a lot of time into the writing, editing, and making these recaps as entertaining as possible. Your support genuinely helps the channel grow, and if you enjoyed this episode, I'll be bringing you the next chapters very soon. Until then. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.